Tucked away in the rugged hills just north of Prescott, Arizona, these Hilltop Fort ruins offer more than just a scenic hike. They're a window into the ancient world of the Prescott culture. Join us as we trek a little-known trail through pine forest and rocky washes to uncover hidden stone structures perched on a ridgeline with sweeping views and a sense of mystery that makes this one of Arizona's best-kept historical secrets. The Prescott Culture was a prehistoric Native American society that inhabited central Arizona, particularly around the Prescott area, from approximately 800 to 1300 current era. Emerging after the decline of the earlier Hohokam influence in the region, the Prescott people developed a distinct cultural identity marked by their unique pottery styles and semi-subterranean pit houses. They practiced dry farming and gathered wild plants, with evidence suggesting limited trade interactions with the neighboring cultures like the Hohokam and the ancestral Puebloans. The Prescott culture eventually declined or was absorbed into the surrounding groups, leaving behind archaeological remnants that provide insights into their lifestyle, trade, and adaptation to the high desert environment. Good morning. I'm so glad you could join me today. I'm doing something a little different today. I'm visiting a hilltop ruin, but it's a little bit small and it's very accessible. It's actually very close to the town of Prescott, which I've been to many times. And I've actually driven quite close to this location quite a few times, never knowing it was here. And I've asked a few people around town and they don't even know about it. So this seems like a pretty neat archaeological site, a little nugget of history here in the hill, but yet not a lot of people seem to know about it. Anyways, I just found it on Google Earth and wanted to share it with you. So let's go check it out and see what we find. The parking area to here was quite close, only about a mile away, and part of a established trail that gets regular use. But I think a lot of people don't quite make it up to this hilltop because it's just a little bit too much work. It's June here in Arizona, and boy, it's a hot month to be here. I am used to it being more temperate in June. I live in Los Angeles, and the weather there is much, much cooler in June. We have a June gloom thing that allows the mornings to stay cool and overcast, but definitely not here. I think June is one of the hottest months here in Arizona. Well, we've already found something. I'm seeing stacked stones over quite a wide area here. This looks pretty neat. This looks like a wall that's been completely fallen down. You can see it's quite wide and looks like it's fallen downhill to the right here, as it still looks pretty sharp on the left. The wall continues around this way, actually getting pretty high up here. These stones appear to be dry stacked, which means they're just carefully placed one on top of the other in a way that they all support each other and are stronger when they're all assembled. As I'm not seeing any mortar in any areas or any other little smaller stones systematically placed throughout the wall. There's definitely small stones, but not all over the place and not in a way that looks like it's part of the construction. These dry stacked walls are something I've seen in this area of Arizona, usually a little farther south than Prescott, but it's definitely a style throughout here. Wow. It's amazing this is still here. I think Prescott used to have a lot more sites like this, but over the decades, the growth of the city has destroyed them or buried them or just built right over them. I don't know if you can see it, but there's houses here in the background. There's actually some right there across the little valley. And they're building more every day. I think the town of Prescott grew about 5% between 2020 and 2024, which is interesting as that was during the COVID times. Let's see what's over here. This initial area we came to looked like it had sort of a building area with taller walls, which is be over here. And then it had this shorter sort of perimeter wall that I think kept out people from, coming up to this hilltop. It's not as tall, and I'm sure it was taller back then, but probably just meant to be a deterrent as much as anything. You can see this spot here would have been an easy approach. So it looks like the walls might have been built up around this spot. And this would have been used to go down, probably to collect water right down there. There's a little creek, which was probably flowing more back then. And is probably the reason why this location is here. I think the ancient one's first point of life would be water, and everything came after that. Game would come with water, crops would come with water. All of life started there. So a lot of times when you find places like this, if you look around, you'll find water. Or if not water, you'll find where water flows either in the spring or did a long time ago. This wall's got a pretty solidly defined edge on both sides, and then everything inside is just all this random rock fill. It's just sort of haphazardly placed in there. Not really fitted together or made to connect anyway. Wow. We can see the perimeter wall here on the other side of the mesa. It's not a huge space up here, but looks like it was pretty well built up and fortified.
These Hilltop Fort ruins near Prescott are attributed to the ancient Prescott culture, which thrived in the region. This fort, perched high on a rocky ridge in Prescott National Forest, features stacked stone structures, small room formations, rather than the classic pit houses, offering strategic views of the surrounding valley. These ruins likely served as seasonal or communal dwellings, in line with other Prescott culture sites, though no formal archaeological digs have ever been conducted here. Interest in these hilltop ruins dates back to mid-19th century explorers, who took note of the numerous stone structures scattered throughout Yavapai County. While some Prescott culture remnants, like the Fitzmaurice ruins, have been studied extensively, undergoing excavations from the 1930s onward, this hilltop fort remains largely unexamined.
It's amazing it's still stacked this high with all the years behind it. So these ruins were most likely built around 800 years ago, give or take a few hundred years. No one really knows, I think. But the professionals say they were built by the Hohokam culture, which was centered a little bit south of here, but this would sort of be the northern reach of it. Often referred to as the Verde Hohokam, since we're technically near the Verde Valley, where there was a lot of Native American culture and developments. Well, you can really see the fill, how they filled it in with all these small little bits. Since this site is so close to the town of Prescott, I'm guessing it's been trampled and picked over thoroughly, and I'm amazed it's not torn up more than it is. But I doubt we'll be finding much in the way of pottery, although, as I look down, that might be pottery there. Let's keep our eyes to the ground and make sure we don't step on anything noteworthy. Looks like we've reached the edge of it here. It doesn't drop off real steeply this direction, but the wall would have been much higher. I think that would have made a big difference. This fort's facing Granite Mountain, which is the largest mountain around the area here, and really makes an impression on you. I'm used to seeing it from the other side, but it's quite a tall one to climb in the summer. Even though it's not very steep on this side, you can see how it would still be daunting approaching with this wall built up and somebody angrily looking over the top at you. Looks like this might be some sort of a doorway entrance here. You can see kind of a sharp edge to the wall. Looks all flat, not tore up and ripped away. So maybe this was another path down the hill to the water source below. Very important. Always remember, do not touch, do not destroy.
Thanks for coming along on our journey to these amazing Hilltop Fort ruins, a glimpse into the practices of a sophisticated prehistoric society that once inhabited these highlands. This hidden spot near Prescott not only gave us a beautiful hike through the forest, but also a rare chance to connect with the ancient Prescott culture and take in some incredible views from the ridge. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and drop a comment if you've hiked this trail, or if you have another hidden Arizona gem we should explore next. See you on the next adventure! Well, this was pretty fascinating. It's amazing how close this is to a pretty big city,
and I think not a lot of people know about it. I don't know if they try to keep it under the radar or if people just don't care. Kind of a mystery. I think it's pretty amazing, and probably the shortest hike to a ruin, a forgotten ruin that I've been to ever. I feel lucky to have been able to visit this place, and I'm glad I could take you with me. I hope you guys enjoyed it. If you thought it was neat, please leave a comment and let me know what you thought. Take care, everyone, and have a great day.
The rhythm of my footsteps mirrored a heartbeat, steady and surreal, while distant birdsong played in the background. In that space suspended between effort and wonder, the hike became less a movement through the wilderness and more a passage into something timeless and half-remembered, like wandering through the dreamscape of nature itself.